Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Frank, and today we're going to be talking about the Beatport DJ app. First look and impressions. But before we get into that, if you'd like to see more stuff from me, just don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. Not sure which side it is, but then you'll be notified when I put new content up, and I'm going to be putting new stuff up in the next few weeks and months. So let's talk about Beatport DJ app. So Beatport have just released this DJ app a couple of weeks ago. We're now currently in mid-March, and this is a quick look at how it works and how you get your music into it. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how you get started with the app and playlists. Then I'm going to give you a tour of the app and show you how it works and which buttons you need to know about. Then we're going to go through some mixing basics. Perhaps you've not DJ'd before and you're curious, or you want to know whether this will stand up to actually using it to play for people. And a quick review at the end. So what do we need to get started? So the new DJ app from Beatport is aimed at any DJ from a beginner to a pro. It's got lots of different features that are useful and common to DJ situations. It's currently only supported on a PC, laptop or desktop running Google Chrome. I've heard you can run it on an iPad, and I've tried to do that, and it's not very easy and the experience isn't very good, so I wouldn't really recommend that for now. But hopefully in the future Beatport will release this on iOS and Android platforms. It requires a Beatport LINK subscription, which is Beatport's streaming service. Basically, you can stream the music from Beatport's site into the app and mix it as you go. Currently, there's a 30-day trial of Beatport LINK, so it won't cost you anything to go and have an actual play with it. To access the app, you either go to the Beatport site and you will see the DJ app link right at the top, or just go to dj.beatport.com. And we're going to talk a little bit about creating playlists to organise your music, because it could have a big benefit now that you are in the app and using a Beatport LINK. So playlists can be created actually on any kind of device. You don't actually have to be using the DJ app to create playlists. So you can log in on your PC, or you can be like me with your mobile out and about, and when you've got a spare 10 minutes going through the tracks and adding things to your playlists. You can organise your playlist however you want. It could be by genre, it could be by month, or by project, for example. Most music on Beatport is available to stream, with a few exceptions. There are some tracks which, when you try to add them to a playlist, will say it's not licensed, but on the whole, most tracks are available. So let's have a quick look at how you can create playlists on Beatport's site. So I'm here on the Tech House page at the moment, and I've been browsing music, and as you will notice at the bottom here, we actually have the full track to listen to if you have a link subscription. So I'm just going to have a quick listen to this track. Okay, so if you like the sound of a track and you want to put it into your collection, where you would normally have added it to a basket or bought it, you click that little down arrow and you'll see at the very top an add to playlist option. So this brings up your playlist screen. Now I've created a number of playlists here, but if you haven't got anything to start with, you can just hit the green create playlist button and then give it a name. So maybe it's called March Music, for example. Hit save changes, it adds that track to that playlist, and next time you come to add a track into the playlist, you already see the playlist there with one track, and you'll just select it like this or like that with the green ticks and then hit add to playlist. And as I mentioned before, you can do this on a phone. I've been doing this for the last couple of weeks on my iPhone, and it's pretty straightforward to do. So nice and easy to put music into a playlist ready to then use in the app. So let's have a quick tour of the new DJ web app. So when you first arrive at the DJ web app page, you'll see that you've got a split on the screen. At the top is the DJ controls, and on the bottom half you have music and playlists and ways to discover music. So let's have a quick look at this. So ignoring the DJ controls for now, at the top right hand corner you've got some views. So this full playlist button reveals your playlist that I was just talking about on the left hand side. So you can see that I've got all these different ones that I've put by genres. I've got warm up, deep house, tribal, I've got tech, tech house, techno, etc. You can filter your playlists as well by just typing in any keyword. There we go. So there's 2 playlists that I've got containing the word techno. Can clear that. You can also create a playlist as well right off the bat there. Let's keep that on view. And also now on the main screen, if you don't want to see so much of the DJ controls, you can hit the compact player button on the top right. So that now gives me more screen area or real estate to actually look at the music and concentrate on finding the music. So as you can see, we have 3 tabs here: Discover, Genres and Collection. We'll come back to the music in a second. Also in the top right, we've got the full screen button just to maximise, make the most of your screen. If you want to exit full screen mode, just press your escape button on your keyboard. We have a little alert icon or a bell icon. This gives you updates and notifications from the developers when there's new functionality or fixes for bugs, etc. And then very top right, you've got the settings. And I do recommend that you check this page because there's some useful things to note. So first of all, it tells me at the top my account details and that I've spent 74 hours, OMG. That's very true that I've been on Beatport for the last couple of weeks sourcing music and putting it into playlists, so that makes sense. Scrolling down, we've got player settings. A couple of interesting things that I quite like are disabling reset EQ at load. So if you want to keep your EQ settings, if you've whacked up the bass or you put a filter on, you want it to remember that when you put the next track on, tick that box. Otherwise it resets the EQ every time you load a new track. This setting here enables slowdown effect on stop. When you press the stop button, the track does a slowdown effect, which is quite nice as a quick way of mixing from one track to another very quickly with that authentic kind of vinyl slowdown sound. Next, we've got audio settings. So depending on the type of equipment that you've got, you might have a sound card, external sound card or not. You can adjust the latency and the performance to suit the type of equipment that you've got. Then you've got headphone settings. So currently I'm not using any headphones with it, but if you do, you can channel the cue output to one headphone whilst everyone hears what's coming out on the speakers, etc. Or you can use a sound card. There's also a Beatport DJ shortcut. If you want to put a shortcut on your desktop, which will launch this app, whenever you click it, you can do that nice and quickly in a few clicks. And then we've got the MIDI section, which is talking about mapping either buttons on your keyboard or a controller. If you want to use an external controller like a Pioneered controller or a Traktor or something like that, or Serato, then you can map. And I'm not sure which controllers map, but there is the ability to map MIDI inputs to that. So that's quite useful, that's settings. So let's have a quick look at how you can discover music now. So the lower half of the screen when you're in DJ view, or if you're in compact view, you can see most of it. You're seeing 3 tabs. So the Discover, which is where you can discover music. You've got Genres, which we'll go through in a minute, and Collection. So on the Discovery tab, I'm scrolling down, I'm seeing DJ charts, I'm seeing Beatport playlists, which are actually going through lots of different genres. You've got your hype, you've got your top hundreds, etc. And then you've got your trending artists as well, Pete Tong or somebody, Camel Fat, someone like that. Trending labels. So lots of different ways to sort of zoom in and find music that you want and that you might like. If you go to the Genres tab, here you'll see a list of genres on the left-hand side next to your playlists. And if you have a particular genre that you quite like, it's a good idea to hit the star button and favourite that genre. And then it basically remembers it at the top. So whenever you come into this Genres tab, it instantly shows you genres of music that you like. So I'm now within Tech House and I can see the top tracks and charts, top hundreds. I can see the Beatport charts, the new stuff, the best of every month, the hype, etc. And again, I've got trending artists, but this is all to do with Tech House now. Also on this Genres tab, you've got filters. So we're on featured at the moment, but we could be looking at the top 100. Or we could be looking at playlists. Finally, there's a collection tab. This lists music that you've put in your collection. And you can filter this. If you hit the filter button, you can actually use this control here to filter by perhaps a genre. So if I go to genres, because I've got lots of different music here, so if I put in techno, for example, it starts filtering. Now it's showing me tracks that are labelled as techno that I can browse, I can use, etc. Next up, let's have a quick look at some mixing basics using the DJ controls in the DJ app. So I'm just back at the split view where I've got the DJ control at the top, which is this, not the compact viewer, not the compact player, but the other view. Okay, and let's hide the playlist for now on the left-hand side. And let's maximise it with the full screen button. There we go. So on the left-hand side, we've got a DJ deck, which is green, so the track will be with the green colour. On the right is a blue. In the middle, we've got the crossfader, and we'll have the track previews as well. In order to put music onto the decks to start DJing with them, just use the left or right buttons next to a track. So left arrow adds it to the left deck, and if I go and find jumping, right arrow adds it to the right deck. You'll now start to see the waveform for the tracks. If I just start playing this left-hand deck, in fact, we'll leave that going. Oh, there's the stop effect, the slow down effect. So at the moment we are running at 125 BPM, top center. Now we can change that if we want. We can add or subtract, or we can actually click into the BPM, type a number and press enter. The sync buttons are on, so whenever I play tracks, it's going to mix them in time or beat match them. So let's look at some of the controls then. So I'm talking about the left deck here. Got the gain. And it gives you a red clipping if it's clipping, so you don't want that. And if you want to reset any of these dials to the 12 o'clock position, just double click on them, just returns them. So you can boost your EQs. And you've got a nice filter at the bottom. And then on the left-hand side of the actual track platter, or the circular part of the deck, you've got your speed. So moving it up makes it slow, and moving it down faster. And it actually snaps to the center position if you move it near the center. You've then got an effects section, which you can change up to about 9 effects here. So let's pick flanger. And if you hit the lock icon, you can actually leave that effect on. Then we've got the loop. So if you hit the loop there, it's looping every 1, 2, 3, 4, every 4 beats or every bar. You can then increase the loop or decrease it. So if you decrease it, make it shorter and shorter. So you can do that kind of cool effects, just like you've heard DJs play out loud, play out. And you've also got the Q button. Q button, when your track's playing, actually returns the track right to the beginning, or the automatic cue point. Let's turn the effects off. So you can set a cue point somewhere else. So as we play the track, you'll see in the top we have a progress, and it shows you the waveform. So you can see the higher the bars, the more energy, more noise. Now perhaps you want to set the start point, cue point, after this little break here. So what you can do is you can pause the track, you can move it around, and it's this point here is where it kicks back in, okay? So it's actually this point here. So if you put this in the center, hit the cue button, we've now set the cue point, so whenever you hit play, it's going to start from here. So that's nice, just like you do on lots of professional DJ equipment. Crossfader on the left, either you use this before, some DJs like to have crossfade in the middle, they just use the track up and down. Let's get the next track ready to mix. Let's have a quick look at the track preview or the track waveform. You can see it making its way along, and then the numbers above tell us that it's currently 1 minute 40 in and it's got 4 minutes 22 left. One feature that I don't think is available yet is to have a remaining track time. Maybe a little button up here that you click and then it shows how many minutes left or seconds left. That's very useful for a DJ. Let's look at mixing the next track now. So I'm going to get the next track ready. I'm going to hit play and then Q. Q takes us back to the Q point, which is the beginning point. And what I'm going to do is just pause this track, and I'm going to say normally I'd mix a track in starting around a minute and a half or 90 seconds before the end of the current playing track. So if I move to that point, so here 90 seconds off 422 is like about 3 minutes, basically just before 3 minutes. So I'm going to play it from here. When it gets to about 250, then I'm going to start off the new track. About here, 2, 3, 4. So the new track started, but you can't hear it yet. I'm going to bring it up slowly. Bring the bass down on the current playing track. So we're mixing, both tracks are going along now, but we're bringing the older track down in terms of volume. Bring the low down, bring the bass down a bit. Keep the vocal going though. Maybe bring the filter up a bit. This takes away the low end of the left-hand track. Still in the mix. Bring the other one down. Bring the fader across. We're now into the new track. As you can see, it's really easy. Actually, I'm not using any kind of controller. I'm literally using my laptop with the trackpad. I haven't even got a mouse. And it's really easy to mix. And it's really easy to mix two tracks together. And I have to say, in terms of the quality, I'm really happy with it. I think the sound is good. When I've connected this to speakers, it also sounds good. I'm not sure what the streaming quality is. It might be 128 kilobits a second. It might be 256 or 320, which is your highest quality MP3, depending on your Link subscription, because they have different types of streaming quality sets, depending on how much you're paying a month. But generally, I think it's really a great set of controls. It's perfect for someone who's just learning. It's very usable for somebody who knows what they're doing. Perhaps you're at a party and someone wants you to DJ and you don't have your kit, but there is a laptop available with the internet. You can literally log in and start DJing for people. I think all in all, it's a really cool tool, and I look forward to seeing what new functionality Beatport release with this in the coming months. So time for a quick review. I think the sound quality is pretty good, definitely usable in a party situation. It could even be used in with a PA system at a larger event, I think, depending on your internet connection, of course, or whether you are using tracks in the offline folders. The beat sync works well for most tracks. There will be some tracks that it doesn't quite understand where the beginning of the phrase or the bar is, but it's pretty good for most, and a lot of tracks start with beats, so that's not a problem, really. It also works well with controllers. You can connect things like the Pioneer or the Tractor controllers. I think you can edit the MIDI mappings, so good to know if you want to use controllers and not use the keyboard buttons. And send some suggestions Basically, at the moment, it's not available on iOS or Android, but it would be good if it could be. Imagine you had your phone, you could actually DJ with your phone and stream all this music at a party. You wouldn't even need someone's computer, just need the internet, or you could use your 3G, 4G, 5G connection. It's got to be a lot of benefit for that. Some suggestions from me for improving this. I think once this could be available on iOS devices and Android, iPads, mobile phones, etc., that could be really good. Imagine, you don't have any equipment at a party, but you have got a phone and internet. You could literally DJ on that and the speaker, and people would be entertained, so it's a good tool. I think the track time at the top needs to have a time remaining feature, so maybe a toggle switch to toggle between time remaining and time played or elapsed. And the beat grid markers, I can't find a way to edit them when they're not in the right place. So I'm sure they've probably thought of that, and that's something that will be in development in the coming months. So yeah, all in all, it's a really cool new tool. Look forward to how it develops and improves over the coming months. And I hope you found this video useful. If you want to leave any comments or questions below, please do. I will answer those. And thanks for watching, and don't forget again to subscribe if you want to see more videos from me in the coming months. Thanks a lot. See you soon.